Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How's life? You holding up okay?
I'm holding up okay. Yeah. I'm holed up and I'm holding up.
Very good, very good. I've been enjoying the occasional performances we get to see online, and you've been keeping busy and such great new music, so it seems like it's been going okay.
It's going all right. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice thing to have a new album. This thing was completed back in November, and we had it on the books for this time of year. Had no idea what we were about to, venture into.
Yeah, yeah. And like other artists I've talked to over the past months that have completed music just before this, the music does take on a whole new resonance and importance given everything we're going through. And a great artist such as yourself is always writing of the times, and things always seem to make sense. And it seems this album really does resonate strongly with me, and I'm sure a lot of people that are getting to hear it now.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, even though it was written in 2019 and recorded near the tail end of the year, I think it's sort of a reflective album, and we certainly have plenty of time to reflect, to turn inward. I mean, the last one before this was a little more of a comment, a social commentary, and this one I feel like is a lot more personal.
Yeah.
And taking inventory of what matters and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Some of your best songs, sometimes I've wondered how personal and how much of a commentary. Sometimes you can't tell right away from listening to it, and that's
true.
Sometimes it's what the listener wants to take from it and get from it, and
yeah, right.
Some of the songs on this one, they could be very personal, but they're also very universal, and that's what makes it a great record.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And that's really true. Sometimes you come to realize as a writer that quite often the more personal a song is, the more you put your heart on the line, the more people seem to identify with it. Having said that, certainly politics is personal. It affects us. It affects our lives, and in ways that we can't always even imagine until here we are.
Yeah. You sound so good on this. I just love talking about your voice, because your voice, you've had this amazing instrument in your voice like back since the beginning days, and it seems like it's only gotten better. And just talk about just kind of the joy of being able to sing the way you do and have that instrument at your disposal, and how much work it takes to get to that place, or how natural that is for you.
Oh goodness! Well, thank you. First of all, I think it just comes with having a big, thick neck. I highly recommend it. There might be some exercises, some kind of ball you can roll yourself around. My dad had a thick neck. I don't know. It runs in the family. Yeah, you know what? I guess I realized quite young that feeling you get when you sing. My grandmother, she sang a whole bunch. My mom loves to sing still. She sings in the choir. And there is just a joy that you can't describe, whether you do it professionally or, in the shower or in the church, wherever you do it. And realizing that quite early on, realizing how that made me feel, and almost seemed to change the molecules moving around in my body, I think that was a big part of it. So I just kept at it, and I still do. I sing around the house. I'm a handful.
Does your family enjoy that? Is it a constant treat for them?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes it's a little annoying, I think, for them. So they tell me.
Right. You've always been such a showman, I think, in the best sense of the word, of knowing how to play to an audience and knowing your strengths and having kind of the audience in your hands. And there's always humor, and you pace a set the right way. And the times I've seen you play, and how much do you miss that right now as a performer, that someone that knows how to put on a good show?
Oh goodness, I miss it a whole bunch. I've been doing weekend shows, on Stage It, that kind of thing, to keep me from going nuts. And I always get a bundle of nerves before I do that, thinking, what am I going to do this time? What songs am I going to play? But I've been performing almost as long as I could remember. I was a child magician, so I just been doing this forever.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a little bit lost sometimes when I'm not able to do it. I mean, I get a lot of anxiety wondering how I'm going to make it fresh, you know, and all that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I live for it.
And how wonderful is it to have new songs for a new record to be able to play? And does it feel fresh for you every time when you have such great new music out there? Is it like a
It does, and that's a really special thing when I have new songs. Even when I'm out on the road, I'm always trying to sneak in something that I've been working on. You know, that helps a lot to feel like I have one foot in the future. You know,
yeah,
so when I do play those old songs, I really I love that connection that I have with my audience. That we have this shared experience of a song that has been with us, you know, for 20 years in some cases,
yeah,
or 30 years. Goodness,
right, yeah.
yeah.
Talk about approaching this album going in, and what were your kind of goals and feelings and thoughts, and the album you wanted to make.
I felt like it was an opportunity to work with some very stellar musicians. Jay Belrose on drums. We had been talking for a while about making a record together, and Jennifer Condos, his wife, Eric Haywood, Danny T. Levin. I had been talking about making this kind of record for a while. You know, something much more personal and warm and earthy, and something for that person who's just kind of stumbling on my music for the first time. You know, I guess it comes down to kind of taking inventory. You know, what do I want to say at this point in my life? You know,
Back in the Largo and McCabe's days, do you miss that vibe? Do you plan on coming back and doing more of that? I'm sure.
oh yeah, I mean, I certainly miss that. You know, yeah, Largo was like my clubhouse, and
Yeah,
McCabe's has become another place that I love, and it's a hard time for a lot of our favorite clubs. You know, trying to keep the lights on,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and so I'm pulling for all of them. You know.
yeah, for sure. Talk about the title of this record. I love that. And there's such a, standing up in the face of adversity element to that. It's just,
Yeah,
you can just put into words where that came from. I think there's a great story there.
yeah. You know, it was in the final days of living in Burbank. We were packing our stuff, and we were getting ready to move out here to Nashville. And out of the corner of my eye, I see my young daughter. She's 5 at the time, and she has this stick of manzanita raised to the sky, and she says, "Come on, lightning, show us your stuff." And that caught my attention. But what really caught my attention was when the sky lit up blue, and there was a crack of thunder, and I thought, "Oh my goodness, she has some sort of supernatural powers." And so we got her in the house, and we said to each other, my wife and I, well, that was a little strange, but I filed that memory away, and like I do quite often, I wrote that down, and I thought about it as I was going into this album. You know, whenever you create anything, it's sort of a provocation or an invocation. You know, I love how you put it. You know, it's sort of that, daring to stand up to the elements, or
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.